Marathon just got some massive new developer updates. We also got some additional brand new key info on the runners that wasn't included during the preview. There was also some additional insider info on the maps, and even their player counts for each. There's some additional hidden details we'll go over, some PSAs that weren't talked about, and even multiple methods on how to gain access to the alpha. We got a ton to talk about. What's up world, it's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Marathon. Okay, so first up here we have a ton of brand new information, some key info from the overview, and also that wasn't talked about during that overview. There's even a hidden system that people have discovered. We will go over that in a second here. But first up, yes, we did get the unveil of the new runners. There's a ton of artwork around this, and I will feature each runner here and kind of overview them. I'll do that very quickly, but eventually in a video I will actually cover a full breakdown of these. But we did have 6 characters or potential characters here in runners. First one is Blackbird, who has some tracking abilities. We also have Glitch, who does have some movement speed abilities and some really cool things with double jump. Then we have Locust, who has really good sustained damage with homing missiles and can even stun. He has an energy barricade, which was shown off a ton during trailer footage. That leads us over to Void, who we saw have that active camo and the smoke screen, and a bunch of abilities that do allow them to hide. But we also do have 2 additional runners. The first one is Thief. We don't really know what her abilities could be. Now the next one here is Redacted, but the rumor is that this is going to be a medic runner. Although again, nothing confirmed there, we still have to wait and see on that. Again, I will have a future video breaking down all of these characters and what we know so far, so do be sure to check out the channel for that, where I do deep dive into all of those. Moving on though, we actually had some insider information here for the details of the launch maps. And this comes from a creator named Espresso, where they did have a chance to play the Marathon playtest, and essentially what he said about each map here. Now this is pointed out in a Reddit thread, but essentially for the first map called Perimeter, it was an outskirt of the colonized world, and it will support 5 teams of 3 players, with a 15 player total count. So a decent amount of players there, not too engageful, but it does seem like a decent sized map. There is a larger map here, but not by much, where there is Dire Marsh. It is an open map set on a large farm, and that will support 6 teams of 3, and that makes it 18 players total. However, again, not very much up from the 15. I do hope they have much larger maps in the future, but it is a nice medium-sized count here. For the third map, it is being called Outpost, and this one is intentionally harder. It is essentially a meat grinder map. We might know that from Factory or a few others like Delta Force has. Can't remember the exact map name there, but there are a few there that make it really hard to enter, and they're essentially very closed in. Again, the best example there is Tarkov's Foundry, where everybody is in an enclosed space and it is a very small map. Now this one is 9 to 12 players total, where again does support 3 to 4 teams of 3. There is actually a 4th map being worked on, and that is a UESC Marathon map. They mentioned this is the hardest map, and it will be all interior play. So this one actually is even more like Foundry, where it is essentially you are closed in completely, and it might even be a smaller group there, but it is the hardest map available. So it does seem like the UESC is probably an endgame map for players that do have a lot of endgame loot. Might even need a key card like Labs and how Tarkov does it. I'm sure there'll be an extra entrance fee there, or at least something in-game that you have to utilize in order to get to that map. Speaking of insider details, we actually had one more here, where Giggs actually does mention that Marathon will have aim assist on PC. So it is much like Destiny. Giggs does mention here that he got the confirmation that mouse and keyboard does have aim assist in Marathon, and that they are balanced separately. Now, as other commenters have pointed out, more than likely this is bullet magnetation, which again is like what Destiny 2 has, so it should mirror the same there. Not sure how I feel about that a ton, but essentially Destiny 2 does have aim assist and bullet magnetism, and that does apply even on PC. So it is the Bungie special there. We'll see how that plays overall. I haven't played Destiny 2 on PC. Only played it on console back in the day, so I actually have no idea how that even works or plays. But I am assuming if people like Destiny 2 gunplay, that they will like it this way as well. They also do mention that Destiny 2 has split matchmaking between PC and console, where console players can only play with PC users when they willingly join up with a PC player in a fire team. So it's probably going to be the same with Marathon. There is an additional hidden system here that even wasn't talked about during the overviews, but it does seem like people have discovered invisible channels over on the official Discord, which could indicate a faction system. Now you can see here they have Meta restricted comms, SegGen, and a few others. Now this could be like Tarkov's system overall, where you're just picking cosmetics, although that can have some effect on your faction influence balance there, and essentially the vendor influence. Maybe that has some ties there overall. Really cool that people found this system though. Eventually, hopefully they'll talk about this. We'll see what this all means, but it does seem like more than likely we will be getting a faction system, whether or not that's sponsorships like the finals, or if it's more like Tarkov's system based on your reputation with a faction. Most people hope that it's just a cosmetic feature there, but it could definitely be a reputation system. Now, speaking of the official Discord, I'm guessing a lot of you still have questions on how to actually access the alpha. It isn't the easiest process, and a lot of people, what I've noticed, they've actually joined the unofficial Marathon Discord, and the reason being is that the Marathon the Game subreddit, as well as the regular subreddit, both of those were actually advertising the unofficial Discord originally, and it wasn't until recently that the actual Discord launched, it seems like. So you actually do have to join the official Marathon Discord, and there also might be further difficulties there. The reason being is the alpha access section or channel that you need to go to might actually not show up if you don't have show all channels selected. Now, I do believe Marathon Official can actually fix this in their server settings, but for right now, it is not under that. So you might have it in the suggested tab here, but if you don't see it at all, you actually will need to go up to the top here and hit show all channels. That will then show you the alpha access channel. What you can then do is type /alpha, and that'll send you a link and you can sign up from there. Now, all the platforms to be able to sign up, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The alpha is currently locked to North America. It does seem like there was a bit of a discrepancy there. Originally they said it wasn't, but unfortunately now it is. That's going to start on April 23rd and will last all the way till May 4th. Now, upon going to this link, you will actually be sent through some sign-ins here. You can sign in with your Steam account or even your Xbox. You can then select which platform you want to be on, which it will make you sign in. So you can sign in originally with your Steam and then sign in with an Xbox using that platform. You can basically do vice versa there, or both. So you can use one platform to sign in, but let's say you wanted it on Steam now. You can go ahead and sign in with your Xbox account and then select the platform Steam, which will then have you sign in with your Steam account, and those will then be linked. And then you will receive, or hopefully receive, a key for the alpha on Steam. Again, alpha access is not guaranteed. There was one additional way in order to get alpha access, and that was through creator keys. However, from what I'm aware, these were not guaranteed, or these people were not guaranteed to get in. They just had a priority for a chance to accept that. Although, again, not sure. There's been a ton of discrepancies with this alpha, so we're not 100% sure on that. Unfortunately, I do not have any keys to give to you guys, but you can sign up through the alpha access means. So everyone does technically have the same chance to get in, aside from creators. We have some additional developer updates here, and even a social update. This first one comes straight from Marathon the Game Twitter, where they do mention here that Marathon will be a premium title, but it will not be full priced. They'll have more details this summer. Not sure why they aren't disclosing that. Everybody pretty much puts it around $40, which seems to be the case for most extraction shooters. They're either free to play or they cost $40. I think it's pretty safe to say it will be around that. So it's not going to be $60 or even $70. When we do get further details on that, I will let you guys know. And also does look like they've already launched merch for Marathon, so you can check that out over on Bungie's store. They even have what looks like some of the factions or sponsorships. At least this one, the Genetics t-shirt. And they also do have ones, of course, for the Marathon collection. So pretty decent there overall. Again, links to everything will be in the description down below. And be sure to check out for future content, future Marathon videos. I'm going to do an overview on all the characters and the runners. That way we can deep dive on each and check all those out. Overall though, it should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.